Targeting. So what is targeting? So it's kind of a natural extension of segmentation in the sense that once we've segmented the customers, let's say that we've identified 3 or 4 segments that, amongst our customers. Now the next step would be companies to decide which segment of those 3 or 4 that they really want to go after. Because sometimes companies will target all 3 or 4 segments that they've identified, whereas in other situations they may have segmented 3 to 4 segments. They may have identified 3 or 4 segments, but for various reasons, it doesn't really make economic sense, or it's out of reach of their capacity. They don't have the resources to target all 3 or 4 segments. So they need to hone in and specifically designate which segment they're going to go after, and that's what targeting actually is. So, like I said, the process of targeting is identifying and profiling groups of buyers that differ on their needs and preferences, and then they would have to select one or multiple segments to go after, and then they would have to develop their marketing communications to communicate to deliver what their unique benefits are for that particular segment that they're targeting. Some of the criteria for targeting would be, a company should align their capacity or their skill sets, their capabilities to the benefits that the segment seeks. So you wouldn't want to target a segment where the benefits that customers in that segment seek are misaligned with your firm's capabilities. If you don't have the technological know-how to develop a product, but the segment demands a certain type of innovative product, then obviously that's not a segment that should be targeted, because you will not be able to deliver such a product that the customers in that particular segment is seeking. Second, the ability to leverage skills and resources, which is in line with our first point. You should target a segment where you have the skills and you have the resources and you have the capacity where you can combine those skill sets to deliver a product that meets the needs of that particular segment. And third, the segment that you should target should be consistent with who you are as a firm or as a brand. In other words, we want to be true to our brand identity. We'll be talking about brand identity a little bit later, but you do not want to go out of your way to target a segment where it would require altering or changing or your brand identity in the wrong direction just to target a segment. So there has to be a good fit with the brand identity that you're trying to portray in the market, and the particular segment that you're targeting. Also, you need to be cognizant and be aware of who your competitors are. If there's giant competitors and you're a small player, even if all 3 of the above 3 elements have been met, you may want to think twice about whether you really want to compete in that particular segment. Because, you may not just have the resources, and you may not have the know-how and the skill sets to compete with these big giants that have, an abundance of resources. So effective targeting requires, as you can see in this slide, developing, a different combination of marketing mixes in terms of, products, places, promotional strategies, and pricing strategies for each different segment. So rather than using one universal marketing mix to target different segments, you would want to develop different marketing mixes that are tailored to different segments, because each segment, by definition, have different needs and they're seeking different benefits. So therefore, you will need to tweak and alter and change your marketing mix as long as this mix is not too much misaligned with your true brand identity, then you should try to alter and customize your marketing mix so that it is congruent with the segment that you are targeting.